Hello and welcome to this brief video on the landscape of the older adult population in the United States. This presentation was developed and is being presented by Jeannine Rowe, a social gerontologist and social work professor at the University of Wisconsin-Whitewater. I created this for Next Gen Partners, which is a project led by Timeslips that aims to increase the number of younger persons who want to work with older adults. Please join me as I give you a brief overview of the shifting demographics of aging in the U.S., highlight some of the biopsychosocial factors associated with aging, and suggest how arts-based activities can support healthy aging. The older adult population, let's just say those age 65 and older, is increasing very rapidly in the U.S. and across the globe. Today, 1 in 6 persons is age 65 or older, and by the end of the year, or by the year 2030, it is expected that 1 in 5 will be age 65 or older. By the year 2060, it is expected that the number of older adults will nearly double from 52 million in the year of 2018 to 98 million in 2060, and represent almost 23% of the U.S. population. As the U.S. population ages over the next decades, it will also grow more racially and ethnically diverse. By 2050, 25% of older adults will be foreign-born, while the proportion of white older adults will decrease over the next 4 decades. The population of Hispanic or non-white older persons will be the fastest growing older adult population and represent just over 18% of the older adult population. The older African American or Black population will also increase, with an estimated representation of about 12.5% of the older adult population. Other ethnic groups will also increase at a rapid pace. While the older adult population is increasing and diversifying, it is important to note some situations that will arise with aging. Age brings a higher risk of chronic diseases such as heart disease, type 2 diabetes, arthritis, and cancer, which are the nation's leading drivers of illness, disability, death, and healthcare costs. Alzheimer's disease and other dementias are the most common in adults age 60 and older, and their risk for these types of diseases increase with age. According to the National Council on Aging, approximately 80% of older adults have at least one chronic condition, and 77% have at least two. 4 chronic conditions, again, things like heart disease, cancer, stroke, and diabetes, cause almost 2/3 of the deaths each year. Alzheimer's disease and other dementias are also a type of chronic disease observed in older adults. A quick description of language here is valuable. As described by the Alzheimer's Association, dementia is a general term for a decline in mental ability severe enough to interfere with daily life. Alzheimer's disease is the most common cause of dementia. Alzheimer's disease is a specific disease, while dementia is not. It's important to note that Alzheimer's is the most common cause of dementia, a general term for memory loss and other cognitive abilities serious enough to interfere with the daily life of an individual. Alzheimer's disease accounts for about 60 to 80% of dementia cases. The presence of Alzheimer's and even some dementias negatively impact multiple facets of older adults' lives and functioning. According to the World Health Organization, dementia and Alzheimer's disease affects memory, thinking, orientation, comprehension, calculation, learning capacity, language, and judgment. Consciousness, however, is not affected. The impairment in cognitive function is commonly accompanied and occasionally preceded by deterioration in emotional control, social behavior, or even motivation. Dementia is one of the major causes of disability and dependency among older people worldwide. It can be overwhelming not only for the individual who has it, but it can also be overwhelming for their family members and caregivers. There is often a lack of awareness and understanding of dementia, resulting in stigmatization and barriers to diagnosis and care. The impact of dementia on caregivers, family, and society at large can be physical, psychological, social, and so on. According to the Alzheimer's Association, an estimated 5.8 million Americans of all ages are living with Alzheimer's disease in 2019. This number includes an estimated 5.6 million people who are age 65 and older, and approximately 200,000 individuals who are under the age of 65 and have earlier onset type of dementia. Some startling facts which were obtained from the Alzheimer's Association include Alzheimer's disease is the sixth leading cause of death in the United States. 1 in 3 seniors dies with Alzheimer's or another dementia. It kills more older adults than breast cancer and prostate cancer combined. Every 65 seconds, someone in the United States develops the disease. As mentioned earlier, there's 5.8 million Americans living with Alzheimer's. However, by the year 2050, this number is projected to rise to nearly 14 million. Older adults, and especially those with chronic health conditions like dementias and Alzheimer's, are at greater risk for comorbid disorders and chronic health issues such as depression and anxiety. Chronic health conditions can be exacerbated by individual characteristics such as income, educational level, as well as race and ethnicity, gender, sexual orientation, and so on. Unfortunately, chronic health conditions and comorbid disorders can increase older adults' risk of loneliness or social isolation. Although social isolation and loneliness share some similarities and frequently occur together, they are distinct and can occur independent of one another. According to the American Association of Retired Persons, or AARP, social isolation is objective with measurable factors like the size of someone's social network, the frequency of contact that they have with their network, availability of transportation, and the ability to take care or to take advantage of support resources. Loneliness, on the other hand, is more of a personal and subjective feeling. That is, it's how people perceive their experience and whether they feel that they have connections, companionship, or sense of belonging that we all need as humans. Both social isolation and loneliness are emerging as major public health issues. Further, according to the AARP, studies have found that social isolation and loneliness are worse for your health than obesity, and the health risks of prolonged isolation are the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Today, it is also known that social isolation and loneliness have serious financial implications. Every month, Medicare spends approximately $134 more for each socially isolated older adult than it would if that person were connected. An estimated 4 million older adults enrolled in traditional Medicare are socially isolated. This represents $6.7 billion in additional Medicare spending annually. Given the increasing prevalence of dementias, including Alzheimer's disease, and the increasing prevalence of chronic health conditions, especially as we age, it's important that family members, service providers, and society as a whole find ways to support older people. And certainly a positive way to support older adults and their health is with arts-based activities. Arts-based types of activities are those that allow the individual to be creative or to create something new. And there's really no rules or procedures on how to do it. It's simply failure-free. Arts-based activities include things like painting, singing, dancing, reminiscence groups, baking or cooking, and storytelling, such as things like time slips. Arts-based activities have been shown to increase levels of engagement and thereby reduce the potential for loneliness and/or social isolation. Research also documents that arts-based activities enhance affect or mood. Additionally, arts activities improve quality of life, and they also promote joy and a sense of well-being. The impacts of arts-based activities are not moderated by race or ethnicity or even ability level. Persons from all backgrounds, races, and abilities seek benefit from arts-based types of activities. As such, it behooves us to think about ways to promote these types of activities, as well as offer them within our respective communities. Well, that does it for here. I hope that you have enjoyed this brief presentation. What I hope you have taken away from this video is that the population of older adults is increasing and diversifying at a rapid pace in the United States. Associated with aging is an increased risk of chronic health conditions, including physical conditions, psychological, and even cognitive types of conditions, such as dementia and Alzheimer's disease. And these can put older adults at greater risk for loneliness and isolation, and thereby significantly and negatively affect their overall health and well-being. Arts-based activities can support older adults' overall health and reduce the potential for loneliness and isolation. I want to thank you for viewing this video. Please know that this video was created in January of 2020, and statistics and information were drawn from national sources and/or peer-reviewed published literature on aging. Use of this video has been created expressly for the Next Gen project. Have a great day.